Hello all, this is Anupama Zawalgi here and welcome to my YouTube channel. We are on a journey to go from where we are to where we want to be. So I would really request you, if you haven't subscribed, please do, because you don't want to miss any leg of the journey. So today I'm going to talk about a habit that can slow down this journey of reaching our goals and our dreams. And it can also bring a lot of stress and frustration. The habit that I'm going to talk about is procrastination. So I'm sure you all must have procrastinated some or the other time in your life. Everybody has done that, including me. And generally, what happens is we always, associate procrastination with laziness. Even when we do it or we see somebody else doing it, we always think that they are being lazy. But the thing is, today I'm going to share with you 5 different types of procrastinators. So I want you to listen carefully and identify which kind you are. Because once we know the why, why we procrastinate, it would be easy to figure out how to stop doing that. So let's look at the 5 different kinds of procrastinators. So the first one are the dreamers. Okay. So these are people who are like very creative. They always come up with brilliant ideas. But they have a problem bringing these ideas to fruition. Because once they get that idea, they don't know what steps to take next. So what happens is, there's a lot of confusion. No decisions are taken. So which kind of delays the whole project. So I'm sure everybody knows some dreamer in either their office or their families, who always has these great ideas, but doesn't know what to do with them later on. So now how do we address this? So for the dreamer, what they need to do is they need to break, once they get that idea, they need to set some goals for themselves. So what are the next steps that they need to take? So it's going to be how much and by when. So they need some kind of a structure after that idea. And so, this helps them to, stay focused, because, dreamers, they always keep shifting between different ideas. So they don't know, which one to start with and what to do next. So it's always a delay just because of that. So they need some accountability. So all the dreamers, they need to, break up the task into smaller ones and actually list them on a day-to-day basis. So which helps them to stay focused. Okay, so the second ones are the perfectionists. So the perfectionists are, they are people who want to pay attention to each and every minute detail, and they want everything to be perfect. But why do perfectionists procrastinate? Generally what happens with them is they have a fear of failure. They have a fear that they are not going to get it right. So let's say your boss asks you to make some presentation and stuff like that. So you're just so worried that you won't get it right. The clients may not like it. So that, just that fear kind of freezes you, you're not able to start. So for these people, what helps is if they visualize the end result, that everything is going on well. So maybe let's say you are the same example that you need to give a presentation. So, you need to focus, visualize that the presentation has gone really well, what the client's reaction is going to be, what your boss's reaction is going to be when he hears the client's good rating for you and stuff like that. So that kind of takes care of the fear a bit, that you need to change your programming here. So that's why you need to keep visualizing, and then you have to keep telling yourselves that you are going to do your best. The rest is not in your hands. So, this is a process that you need to undertake to get rid of that fear. So the perfectionist, visualization definitely helps. Now the third ones. So these are the overwhelmed avoiders, you can say. Sometimes the task that we need to undertake is so big that the brain gets overwhelmed, that it gets stressed thinking about it. And the brain is always there to protect us. So, what the brain does, it starts distracting us from that task to easier tasks. So, I think we've all seen these when we were kids also, like some subjects which are difficult, we used to just put them off, put studying those. And if you're a parent, you know this for sure, the kids, they don't want to study those difficult subjects. And what happens is when we start avoiding doing those tasks, they become even more stressful and we sort of start dreading them even more. And the time, the deadline comes nearer and nearer, so the stress also increases. So for all these kind of overwhelmed avoiders, what we can do is you can just actually split the task into smaller tasks, so that the overwhelm is reduced a little. And for those small tasks, if you need somebody's help, you can ask for that help. And do the most difficult ones right in the morning. So as the day progresses and your motivation keeps going down, actually the tasks become more and more simpler. So, eat the frog first is what they say. So, handle the most difficult tasks when you have a fresh mind right at the beginning, and really break them down into small ones, so that once you start completing those, that dread and the stress that you have goes down. So that's for the overwhelmed avoider. I think a great example is, I think everybody can relate to this. If we decide that we are going to clean a room, maybe house or maybe just a room, and you decide like you're going to do that, it's how, and then you realize how much you need to do, you need to take care of the cupboards, the table and everything that's lying on the bed. And what do? You just, dump everything and you just go and watch some TV or, start surfing the net or do something else. Because that task of thinking, just the thought of doing the whole thing together is just too much. So in that case, what I would say is, just start by cleaning just a drawer, just limit that to just one drawer, then the next one and things like that. So that's something that I think everybody can relate to. Now, the fourth one. The fourth one is like a multitasker, busy bee. They are constantly busy with some or the other task, and they have a hard time prioritizing. So what happens is, they keep shifting between tasks. And also, what happens is when you keep shifting, then you have to decide, what to do next. So a lot of time is taken by just the brain switching between tasks and trying to figure out which one to do next. So that creates a lot of confusion in the mind, and it just really just brings a lot of stress. And sometimes, just try to avoid doing anything at all because of, not able to decide. So for that, we need to figure out, what is urgent, what is important, do the important tasks. Sometimes, we have colleagues and stuff who keep sending us, tasks that they think that are urgent, but they take us away from what we are doing, which is probably is more important and stuff like that. So here, I think, I would say is like what Peter Drucker has said in the Effective Executive, the book I've already reviewed. In that, I've already shared that he says that, first things first, second things never. So that is a great way to deal with this kind of distractions for a busy bee. So you need to figure out, you have to, categorize the tasks in terms of, how important they are and start doing the ones that are the most important. So you don't have to switch between tasks, and you need to keep some time aside also for the tasks that you think will be needed to do them. And the last thing I think is something that a lot of us can identify with right now. And that is the one who is distraction prone person. So the last reason is because you get distracted a lot. Because, the brain is not used to focusing so much on one task. So it gets very easily distracted. So sometimes you may have, really chatty colleagues who keep calling you, who keep coming to your cubicle or your desk. Or you might have the habit of actually, checking social media and get caught up in that web all the time. And what you're doing at hand, it goes on the back burner. So what happens is, if you are constantly getting distracted, then it takes longer to finish your task because you have to, come back and start refocus on the task at hand and then continue. So these are people who don't have any subconscious blocks or anything like that. It's just that they get distracted easily. So for this is like a scheduling issue. So you need to schedule some time to actually chat with people, chat with your colleagues, or chat with your family, or you have to have some special time for surfing the net, or checking out all the WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. Because if you do it in the middle of work, then you don't know how much time those things are going to take. So, always schedule some 20 to 30 minutes of task time, and then, switch on to these other tasks which may not be important. So, you tell others also that please don't disturb me during this time, turn your phone off, or keep some times, and only on those, in those times that you are allowed to, watch something on the net and stuff like that. So it's just an organization thing, that you need to organize your time properly. So you have these gaps in the middle where you can do all the other stuff which doesn't need more focus. But in between you need to those kind of tasks, and the other times you need undistracted time for completing the task. So that is the last kind. So as you can see, there are 5 different types of procrastinators and different ways you can handle the problem of procrastinator. So I'm sure, you can identify with some of what I have said, and also you may know people who you immediately they come to mind, oh, this person is a dreamer, this person is a perfectionist. So please share the video with them also, it will help them also. And once we know why we are doing it, how will come naturally to us. So, and actually we might be switching between these different kinds also. So that is, it doesn't mean that you are a dreamer is going to be a dreamer for life. That's why you're procrastinating. Maybe you're a dreamer plus you get distracted easily. So it can be a combination of these two also. So just keep that in mind. And so if you like this thing, please press the like button. You can actually comment which one do you identify with the most. And so I also know, which one you thought was the most closest to you. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.